Former President Donald Trump sent a panicky fundraising email just one day after special counsel Jack Smith filed a 45-page criminal indictment against him. This indictment laid out in excruciating detail allegations that Trump had pushed election officials to reject the results of the election in their states, put in fake electors, while plotting with co-conspirators to fraudulently overturn the election, despite knowing, of course, that they were lying about the cause. There was no massive voter fraud, but it didn't stop them from lying about it. So now on Wednesday morning, the Trump campaign blasted out this fundraising email meant to scare his voters into coughing up more cash. It reads, Patriot, with Crooked Joe's corrupt DOJ having unlawfully indicted yours truly yet again, reports indicate that I could now face a combined 561 years in prison from the Les Witch hunts, 6 lifetimes. Yeah, there's no way he'll ever get that much prison time. I think if any at all, honestly. There's only one message someone can send by trying to throw you in jail for 6 lifetimes. And that's fear. The fear that if you vote for the only candidate who puts you first, you too could be harassed, indicted, and even arrested by the current Marxist regime in Washington. So this is ironic. Can you believe it? The left. They're trying to send a message of fear. And how do you respond to that? By sending your own message of fear, honestly. Again, it says, well, you could be the average person arrested and indicted. Oh, did you hear that, MAGA guys? Turns out that if you try to break laws, then yeah, you're going to be arrested. I know. You could also be arrested. It's kind of how laws work. How it's supposed to work. It's how a legal system is structured. I know. Crazy, right? Insane. But there's more. Speaking of insane, because these endless witch hunts and indictments aren't really about me. They're about you having a voice in your own country. I'm just standing in the left way, and I always will. Yes, it's about your voice. You know. No, it's actually not. Not at all. No, it's about crime. People were able to exercise their vote just fine. It's just Donald Trump didn't get enough votes. That's it. That's the reality. Rest assured, Patriot, if there's one thing I'm willing to risk my freedom for, it's your freedom. Really? So that's not at all true. Pretty sure Donald Trump wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I'm just saying. Not only would he never risk his own freedom for anyone, let's be honest, but we already know that Trump wouldn't spend a single cent on his supporters if they got in trouble. Do you remember this?
If you do, I'll defend you in court. Don't worry about it. If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise.
I will pay the legal fees. I promise. Except, that didn't happen. You know why? Because we actually have a case study here. After that, those statements that he was saying at rallies, a 70-year-old Trump supporter named John McGraw decided to test the theory. He punched a protester in the face at a rally in North Carolina. Trump later on, was asked about this, like, hey, so one of your guys just got arrested for assault for beating up somebody at a rally, a protester. You gonna pay his legal fees? Well, here's what he said on ABC's Good Morning America. Quote, no, I didn't say that. I haven't looked at it yet, and nobody's asked me to pay for fees, and somebody asked me a question, and I haven't even seen it, so I never said I was going to pay for fees. This is after putting out, like, oh, maybe I'll look at the fees and stuff. No. When asked later if paying the fees meant rewarding violence, Trump responded, well, maybe so, and maybe that's why I wouldn't do it. I don't condone violence at all, and I looked and I watched, and I'm going to make a decision. I certainly don't condone violence, and maybe you're right, and maybe that's why I wouldn't do it. So, of course, end of the day, big surprise, he didn't pay legal fees. Now, remember also how Trump ripped off his donors. Now, these are donors for his so-called election defense fund in 2020. The Trump campaign took $250 million in donations from supporters that it said would go to an election defense fund to pay for legal fees to overturn the 2020 presidential election results. However, he took the money, but the fund was never created. Instead, where did the money go? It went to the Save America Political Action Committee, and from there to several pro-Trump organizations, which were headed by former officials close to Donald Trump's inner circle. Oops. Turns out that was a grift. That was a steal. I know. And so is this. This is another grift. This is another way for him to try to raise money. Now, there's more. However, if you're struggling right now due to Crooked Joe's policies and the sinister swamp creatures of Washington, please just hit the back button and go about your day. In that case, I don't want you to even think about donating. Oh, lovely. But if you can contribute even just $1, God knows how much our country needs patriots like you at this pivotal moment in history. Please make a contribution of any amount, truly, even if just $1, to show that our movement will never surrender our country to the left's tyranny, even as Crooked Joe, the deep state thugs, try to jail me for 561 years. So they're going to jail me if you don't give me money. And worse, then once they're done with me, they're going to come for you. But hey, look, if you can't afford it, that's okay. That's okay. I totally get it. But please, just $1. Just $1. Talk about rhetorical whiplash. And look, I know campaign fundraising emails are all weird and panicky. But this is even more bizarre than usual. The message that Trump is sending is that he alone is standing in the way of his supporters' quote unquote freedom. What freedom? What freedom is being infringed? The freedom to plan a scheme to submit fake electors in order to overturn an election. Pretty sure the average Trump voter is not going to be doing that. And then there's also saying, well, look, if we can't steal an election, then we've lost our democracy. Wait, what? Because again, that's what he's being accused of doing very credibly. There's a lot of evidence there. Look, the entire pitch is bizarre, panicky, and it's kind of a reflection, in my opinion, of the headspace Trump's in right now. His campaign is running low on cash. According to FEC data, Trump took in over $53 million since the start of 2023, but burned through at least $42.8 million this year. Much of it used to cover the costs related to his legal bills, leaving him with $31.8 million cash on hand. And that was after receiving a lifeline from a pro-Trump super PAC that agreed to refund millions of dollars in contributions that Trump's operation had previously donated to it. So, he's in trouble when it comes to money. This entire pitch, desperate plea for cash that he continues to blow through thanks to all of these self-inflicted legal problems. Again, these problems wouldn't be here if he hadn't actually done the things to himself. Okay? Now, I had an interesting thought about this. So, I remember all the stories of Donald Trump's dad essentially bailing Trump out of all of his either, it's mostly failed business ventures and things like that, probably legal issues, though I'm not entirely sure. And now, it makes me think that this is an example of Trump. Again, Daddy's no longer alive, obviously. So Daddy used to bail him out. Now he's just getting his supporters to do it. And of course, these supporters will continue to gladly give money to Donald Trump until Trump has taken pretty much every last single penny and hasn't given anything in return because he never will.